Hey, it's Pastor David. I'm here with our Thursday at 3, and today our September financial update. Let me share some figures with you. So this is the report that our leadership receives every month, and it tells us year to date through the end of August. We're almost to the last quarter of the year through the end of August. And you'll see across the top is our income, our pledge, those that made a commitment to the church to give X number of dollars to the church during the present year. Unpledged is offering, everything given to the church for the church outside of pledges. And then other revenues is income that comes to the church through our ministry programs. It could be the dance studio, it could be the preschool, it could be youth programs or children's ministries when they have an event. We record that income, we budget for that, and so you'll see other revenues. And you'll look at these figures and you'll see that we're pretty on target. Our pledge giving is under, our unpledged giving is over, within $5,000 or so of each other. So we're pretty on target of our budget in terms of income. Our other revenues are way over, almost $200,000 over revenue. That has to do primarily in August with the preschools and collecting fees for school and so forth. That'll come out in the wash. But what I want you to see is that our income, that is our giving, is pretty on target through the end of August. We'll come back to that in a minute. Our expenses are broken down by pillars. You'll see the names of the pillars or areas of groupings of ministries across the left there: Gracious Host, Passionate Seekers, Vibrant Family, Christ-like Servant. Those are the ministry teams. We have about 25 ministry teams in the church. They put the budgets together in groupings or pillars. And you look at that and you'll see that our expenditures and our ministries are under budget. So that's fantastic. Our leaders have been watching that. They're under about $55,000 under budget through the summer, which is great. Summer is a big expense time. I think our youth spent 5 trips alone just for the youth this summer. And so we see a lot of expense in the summer, but we've come and underspent our budget. So that's really great. Now we're a little over budget in the other areas of our expenses, which are labor, that is staffing, and administration. And this makes sense. I think you'll understand that. I was in a staff parish meeting last night, and that's the team that deals with all staff personnel and insurance and so forth. And insurance is a real challenge for churches right now. And it's going up and up and up, just as it is for you at home. And electricity continues to be a challenge and below our budget. The set costs are some of the things that we're wrestling with. Property insurance. These show up and show us as unfavorable in our other expenses by about 4%, or about $60,000. So that also evens out pretty much within $4,000 of each other. About $55,000 savings in our ministry, and then we're upside down about $59,000 in our other labor. So kind of in the wash. Total expenses are $4,300 overspent out of $3.5 million so far. So we're pretty excited about that. That's less than 1%. Expenses are in line, giving is up. And so where do we stand? Well, we're $88,000 in the red. That sounds like something we don't want to be. First time this year, actually, coming through August. But we expected, according to the budget, to be $266,000 upside down. And the church budget year is not linear. It goes up and down depending on the season. It kind of starts strong in January, and then kind of slowly decreases in terms of income until you hit kind of about the end of the summer, and then it kind of starts to climb and hits a big zenith in December, while our expenses start low in January, kind of climb to the summer, and then taper off from there. And so it's not even or linear, so to speak. And so we expected to be $266,000 in the red at this point. We're $88,000 in the red on a $3.5 million budget year to date. So some good news and then a challenge. The good news is our giving is held strong according to budget, and actually we have given more this year to date than we gave last year, several $1,000s more. Not a lot, but it is more. We're heading in the right direction. And just in our offering is slightly higher than it was last year to date. Good news is we're underspending our ministry budgets. We're watching the line, and ministry is continuing. And so we celebrate that. Good news is that we're ahead of budget. We're ahead of budget. We're not at net zero, but we're ahead of budget, and actually way ahead of budget from last year at this time. We are about $162,000 ahead of budget as to where we were at the end of August in 2022. That's a celebration, and I thank you for your generosity and your giving and all that you do to support the growth of God's kingdom. Challenges. We do have some challenges. We're a little bit upside down, and we're heading into a season. September is usually a very thin month financially, where that number is going to grow. We have some work to do. We have some fixed costs that we have to kind of make up for in our budget to honor kind of meeting our budget. And so that is a challenge. And I just ask that you prayerfully consider your giving and prayerfully consider what God has done for you and what you can do for God's kingdom. I'm excited that our in-person worship continues to climb, 12% in August of 2023 over 2022. Our online views are still way above 200 views. That could be several people. 200 views on Sunday or on throughout the week. That could be 2 people per view. We don't know, but we're tracking the number of views, and it's still north of 200, which says that still is a ministry that is going strong and seems to play a role in people's faith journey. And actually, we were up over August of last year, so that actually combined, our attendance was actually bigger than it was in August of 2019. So I celebrate that, and I give thanks to God for that. In the meantime, ministry continues. I mean, these are dollars, right? And we talk about dollars, and it's important to know where we stand and what we're doing as good stewards of God's generosity and good stewards of your generosity. But these represent ministry and the things that are happening in the family. And I just think about all that's happened in this past week, and just some of the things that have happened in the last 7 days. We've had worship, of course, 2 worship services and Sunday school for all ages. On Sunday morning, we had the choir, and we've had choir rehearsal this week. The handbells were there, and they led us in a beautiful sharing of worship at the 11 o'clock. We helped a homeless family who has come through our family connection and is being part of our community right now. On Sundays, we're working to help them get back and get to their home out of the state. We've had our security team meet, and they've been meeting to talk about how we make sure we look out for the young ones and so forth in this environment. And that's a big progress and a big process over 2 campuses. Preschools have been in session, both preschools. Our strategic planning team, which is working on our 3-year plan, has met this past week. Staff Parish, who deals with all personnel and insurance, has met this past week. Trustees, who deal with the building and property insurance, has met this past week. Bible studies, Tuesday night Bible study and Sunday morning Bible studies, Thursday morning Bible study have met in the past week. I could just kind of, a new golf tournament happened in this past week, and the new ministry and all that's happening with that. There's just staff have met, senior staff have met. There's just been a ton of things going on in the last 7 days, or people are getting together and using their time, their talents, and their resources to grow the kingdom of God, the reign of God on earth, that helps bring about the transformation of individual lives and the transformation of this world. And so I'm grateful for this church family. It's a vibrant and active church family. It's a generous church family. And I look forward to seeing what God is going to do in the coming days. I celebrate this report, and I celebrate those who are going to respond, and give thanks for those who continue to support our church in these challenging times. Thank you, and God bless.